This is a harrowing case of abduction, sexual assault, and murder involving a 17-year-old female high school student named Noriko Kubota. Her life was cruelly taken by a group of juvenile delinquents who subjected her to unimaginable suffering during the 41 days she was held captive. The events unfolded in Tokyo during the late 1980s against the backdrop of Japan's economic bubble and rising youth crime. Noriko was a bright and cheerful teenager from a modest family in Saitama Prefecture. She lived with her parents and 2 siblings and worked part-time at an electronics store to earn money for her graduation trip. On November 25, 1988, after finishing work, she was on her way home when she was targeted by 2 young men, Yasuhiro Mayano and Koji Ogura, who were members of a local gang known as the Jiseikai. Mayano approached her under false pretenses, pretending to help her after another gang member had supposedly threatened her. Trusting him, Noriko followed him into a secluded area where she was abducted. Mayano brought her to the home of one of his accomplices, Nobuaki Mineta, whose family house became the site of Noriko's prolonged captivity. At first, the gang did not immediately harm her out of fear that Mineta's parents might discover her and report her disappearance to the police. However, by November 27th, their restraint gave way to brutal violence. Under the influence of drugs, 6 boys, including Mayano, Ogura, Mineta, and others, took turns raping and abusing Noriko, while Mineta's parents slept nearby. Despite Noriko's screaming, which briefly drew the attention of Mineta's mother, the gang managed to keep her hidden. After the assault, Mayano ordered the group to beat Noriko severely to ensure her silence. Over the next several weeks, Noriko endured constant physical and psychological torment. She was repeatedly raped, tortured with foreign objects, burned with cigarettes and candles, and forced to ingest harmful substances like pepper oil and paint thinner. Her body bore countless injuries, including broken bones and severe internal damage. To cover up her disappearance, Mayano used Noriko's notebook to find her family's contact information. He forced her to make phone calls to her parents, claiming she was staying at a friend's house. Her father, initially suspicious, reported her missing, but later withdrew the report after receiving these calls. Meanwhile, Mineta's mother unknowingly discovered Noriko's presence and attempted to help her escape. She even contacted Noriko's parents anonymously to inform them of her location. However, the gang intercepted any chance of rescue. Noriko made one desperate attempt to call the police while the gang members were sleeping, but Mayano caught her and stopped her before help could arrive. This only intensified the abuse. By December, Noriko was too weak to move. She was malnourished, weighing less than 35 kilograms, and suffered from multiple infections due to untreated wounds. Her captors continued to torture her, forcing her to drink her own urine and denying her basic care. On January 4, 1989, the 40th day of her captivity, Mayano, angry after losing money gambling, decided to take it out on Noriko. Along with 3 other gang members, he inflicted further violence on her. They beat her relentlessly, poured candle wax over her body, and threw weights at her abdomen. Noriko eventually stopped responding, but the attackers continued their cruelty, lighting fires near her until she finally succumbed to her injuries. After confirming her death, the gang showed no remorse. They disposed of her body by sealing it in a gasoline drum filled with concrete and dumped it in a landfill in Koto Ward, Tokyo. 4 months, Noriko's disappearance remained unsolved until the gang's earlier crimes led to their arrest. During interrogation, Mayano accidentally admitted to killing someone, prompting investigators to locate the burial and recover Noriko's remains. The autopsy revealed the full extent of the brutality. Noriko had sustained extensive fractures, severe head trauma, ruptured eardrums, and signs of pregnancy, all while suffering from extreme malnutrition and internal decay. The investigation also uncovered that at least 17 boys and 1 girl were involved in her abduction and abuse. However, only 7 individuals faced criminal charges. Mayano, the ringleader, received the harshest sentence, 20 years in prison, while others received lesser sentences or were sent to juvenile detention centers. The case shocked Japanese society and exposed flaws in the country's juvenile justice system. It also highlighted the media's role in sensationalizing crime and victim blaming, as some outlets portrayed Noriko as a delinquent rather than a victim. In response to public outcry, Japan revised its juvenile laws to allow for longer sentences in cases of extreme violence. Noriko's parents never recovered from the loss of their daughter. Her mother developed serious mental health issues, and the family eventually moved away to escape the trauma. Meanwhile, many of her perpetrators resumed criminal life after serving their sentences, showing little remorse for their actions. This tragic story serves as a grim reminder of the vulnerability of young people and the devastating consequences of unchecked juvenile violence. Noriko's ordeal left lasting scars on her family, the legal system, and the collective conscience of a nation grappling with the darker side of its youth culture.